All right, what is going on with my people out there? This your boy Hood, man. Self-Madeology CEO, Hood Film Corp CEO, Hood the Filmmaker, Black Pizzeria CEO. We got a lot of brands. I just want to say what's up with y'all out there. I'm giving y'all an update on that brawl because it's some information came in. He had the captain call in to a show, and he actually gave his 2 cents about what happened. In a lot of ways, the captain felt like that was a gang that was attacking him. He said these people come back every year and be a nuisance towards the boat drivers and shit like that. Like that's how they figure it's fun, or they do pranks and they just be wild with it. But what they couldn't predict was that black people don't play a lot of shit like that. And while you might be an asshole and a nuisance to white communities and the world you in, but other people gonna look at that shit and look at you as a problem, and they gonna make a problem go away. And I think that that guy couldn't predict that. That those people couldn't see that coming. And so, like and subscribe, and welcome back to the channel. So the captain called in, and he actually gave his 2 cents about what went on. So we could hear the captain break down what he think went down.
What ended up happening was one. All right, so I feel but I also one sheet of bounty
so this versus one sheet of the ordinary. Yeah, but he basically said that they're a gang.
One sheet of bounty, your shit.
He feel like they was a fucking gang.
Several times. It's an incredible thing y'all do. It's a great way to have fun and see that part of our city. And I just encourage folks, take out of this to go buy more tickets to the area too, would be my advice.
That's the thing, man. One of the most, I used to run this boat in the area. I ran in Savannah, Georgia 5 years, at Savannah Riverboat.
Okay.
And in Savannah, we carried me bring the boat into the dock. And let them move that boat for me. I said, I don't think you want that. So,
well,
you
okay,
can hear him break down what happened. I want y'all to hear this shit.
Calling in here, can you describe from just your perspective what the heck happened this weekend?
Yeah, I can tell you pretty much. We were coming into the dock for our
check my audio
cruise.
Bet, sound good.
200 people on the boat.
Like and subscribe to y'all.
I could see that there was a pontoon boat that was too far back to allow me to position the boat to use a disembarkation ramp to get people off the boat. So I got on the PA. I'm hovering in the water out there right beside the pontoon boat. I got on the PA and said, could y'all please move your boat up a couple feet, 4 feet, so I can get the boat in here, get these folks off the boat. And they just, nothing happened. So I did that about 5 more times. And still, they're just looking at me. So finally I said, okay, now, I'm going to call the police to get your boat moved. And when they get down here, they're going to see the alcohol that you have on your boat. I said, I don't think you want that, so move your boat before I call the police. And they started shooting birds at us.
Oh, no.
So I called the police. And we waited there for a while. I called them at 6:59. And so
I'm going to pause it right here. And I just want to say that.
So we waited for a while, and then the guys left that were on that boat. They left the boat and just left the park. Well, they left the dock. So I assumed they were gone. So Stewart, who captains the pedal boat, was there, and I knew he could get his boat in and out of that area. So I called him on the phone and said, hey, Stewart, man, can you come over here and get a couple of my deckhands, drop them off on the dock, and let him move that boat for me so I can get my boat in? He said, sure. So he did. And then so my 2 deckhands went over there. One of them was my senior deckhand, my first mate. He was the one that was attacked. And they went over there, they know how to move a boat. And in the boating world, boaters are generally, very friendly.
Right.
And in the boating world, it's common. If you have to move somebody's boat, it's not like, it's nothing to get upset about. You have to move a boat sometimes. But particularly though, we're a passenger vessel. That boat weighs over 500,000 pounds. You don't want to be in its way if you can help it. So anyway, we went over there, moved the boat, and after they moved it, those guys came running back. They must have still been in the park or the gazebo or something. And when, at first there, I thought maybe they would have a little discussion so calm down. Now see, we're 40 yards or 30 yards away from the dock, watching all this. There's nothing we can do. And about that time, another guy comes running up, and within a minute or so, it was all out brawl. And I saw some more guys coming. I said, oh, thank God, they're going to break it up. But instead of breaking it up, they jumped on it too. So at one time, it was like six, 7 guys on my deckhand who was just trying to move the boat. So went on for a minute. So people came from the plaza and helped pull some guys off of them, He got away for a little bit there. Things started to calm down a little bit. The police showed up. And I said, okay, it's going to be okay. And my deckhand came back over and motioned me to bring the dock, to go into the dock. That everything was calm. By this time, I said it was already a half dozen police officers on the dock. This is about 15 minutes later.
Mm-hmm.
And so we started bringing the boat in. And as soon as the boat hits the dock, some of my crew who saw my first mate Daniel be attacked, felt they had to retaliate, which was unfortunate. I wish we could have stopped that from happening. But when you see something like that,
Right.
it was difficult. It was difficult for me to sit there in the wheelhouse watching him be attacked. And the whole time I'm on the PA, stop. You know, the police are here. Stop. But they wouldn't stop them. So once we get to the dock, and then that's when a little bit of a melee started. Finally, the police got control of it.
I appreciate that man admitting that.
So you see, from the captain perspective, he basically was at the boat helm, navigating the boat, and he said his first mate, the guy who he respected most, his top crew member, his senior crew member, is the person he sent out on the boat to go back to the deck to move that boat. And he said it's not abnormal to move other people's boats. If you need to get to space or something like that, you grab a machine, whatever it does, and you push their boat forward or backwards. He said, but when they saw the black guy doing that, they took offense to it and then they just attacked him, which is wrong. Because he wasn't a random homeless guy walking past. He wasn't like some just dude that was just like, I wonder what this means. He was basically a person with a uniform on saying, I work in this capacity. So if nothing else, the boat I'm touching is going to be secured because I work in this capacity. But they looking at it like, you a black dude, you touching my shit, it's on. And I think that being in Alabama, probably being in the area they from, he said, I think they from Selma or something like that. And they just probably never really had to be accosted by a group of dudes, or black dudes, that is, that don't play that whole shit. And so they basically felt like I could do whatever I want to do. Because for whatever reasons, they felt like that. But it ain't like that in the real world. You can't do whatever you want to do. You're going to get yourself in a world of trouble with people who ain't scared. That's really what it comes down to, is people who ain't afraid. And they'll be like, well, I had to do what I had to do. I ain't scared. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you got to be careful in the world, because some people ain't afraid. And they'll do whatever it takes to survive. So that those black people who chased up on him and beat him down were just a serious brothers that just, they wasn't playing. They was all, and then see, everybody on the boat didn't unload on them and fuck them up. Just a few people did. It could have been hundreds of people who ran. He said over 200 people was on that boat. You know, this interview goes further, where he just talked about how those people kind of stole a cart from them. Well, like, you know, they use a golf cart to take elderly people up and down the ramps on their boats. So he said that about a year ago, they stole it. Those people groups stole his golf cart off their boat and kept it. And he think they was like trying to play a prank on them. He said then they found it like in a Marriott a few blocks over. And he said, so they went to press charges on those group of dudes. And he said the police refused to press charges on those white dudes when they stole the boat from them, stole the wheelchair thing about a year ago. And he was like, so this is what makes people like that feel like they can do what they want to do. Because at that time, if they had been sued, or if they had been locked up, or if they had been held accountable for doing something so bogus, it would have never been a conversation today. But they don't really come at each other like that. And that's why you see black people fighting back, because you know it's not going to be justice. If they would have held that brother down and drowned him in that damn river, it's not going to be no justice for him. The country don't work like that. The judge and jury and all that stuff, it don't work like that. If you're a black person, everything goes against you. Just the cultures and all that stuff is set up to make black people the enemy. And so for that brother who we all could see with our own two eyes, he was just doing his job. Whether he was yelling at the guy, saying foul shit to him or not, because think about it. You got to get off the fucking boat, ride your ass over to the boardwalk to move somebody else's shit after being at work all fucking week or all fucking day. This is probably a hard gig. It's probably something that's a shit detail. But then they won't let the younger crew members do it. They only gonna let you do it because you the senior art man. So when he get there from the boat to the fucking river to the side, he gotta tell the old boy to move your shit. He probably not doing it in a comfortable way. He probably not telling them to move their shit in a good way. Like, yo, man, get this. He probably told him out to fuck this boat sitting right here for me. You see us trying to park the goddamn thing. What is wrong with you stupid motherfuckers? And then they gonna jump out. Oh, you gonna talk to me like that? Who the fuck are you? And it's like, what the fuck you mean? Who the fuck am I? You got your boat. There's 200-300 people on this fucking boat. You know, you can see that the brother was animated when he was talking to those white people. But to me and a lot of people who experienced that or saw it, that look at those white people as stupid. Like, well, earth we should do that. But they felt entitled, and that's just been the going word for this time frame or this scenario. That was entitlement. You hear about it, but that way you got a chance to see it. That's entitlement. They felt entitled, and they like, oh, I can stand and sit wherever I want to be. I don't. Oh, is there some people I need to know? I doubt it. That's a 217. Hold on. Hello. Oh, they're not here. I don't know what the hell they talking about. But anyway, I was ended up seeing some stuff that spilled over there. But anyway, so that was just a time when he had to protect himself. And as a black guy, I'm glad he did, because those people was not his friend. And even though he was sitting in a point of authority, he still couldn't break through to them. And that seems kind of crazy, because why is his life got to be threatened because he chose to have a job that particularly puts him in a point of authority at this position, at this point? He wasn't even being fouled. He could have probably took their boat and rammed that motherfucker or pushed it into some specific area. But you see, he wasn't doing nothing like that. He was being a good guy. He was just trying to help out. He was just trying to be cool with it. And I think that that's something we all can take from that black dude. He was patient. He was patient with the group. He was too patient, because had he been really on some street shit, he could have kicked it off himself. And he didn't have to wait for them to attack him. He could have been straight over there like, hey, I got to go home. I'm tired. I ain't took a shit. My kid tomorrow to drop him off. As soon as I get home, I got to drop my kid off. And you motherfuckers bullshitting over here? He could have took that shit a whole nother level as a black dude, but he didn't. And I think I respect him for that, because work and a job is tough. And hours, the captain said later on in this meeting, and this girl named Jamie, that's me. That's her latest video, Jami. Jamie, that's me. That's her video spot. I'm watching it on. And she sat up there, and she actually just showed a dope ass video about the captain being interviewed. And the captain was like, man, it was hard for us to watch that. But like I said, it could have been an unload of the whole half a boat could have went over there and jumped on people. It could have drowned on people. See, a lot of people just don't be wanting to have that kind of shit on their conscience. They don't really be wanting to have that kind of war and battle on your conscience, because life's supposed to be a little bit more fun and happy. It shouldn't be this battle royale every day. I've still got to write this shit on. Every day you leave the crib, you got to go up against this group of people. That's really not life. And if that is life, that's a fucked up life. That you got to always battle this group of people or this team of guys and girls. And you know, so as black people, we don't want to have to always experience that shit, even though we do have to experience that shit, because where you're going to go is most of the areas that white people control and run. So they're going to follow. They're going to treat you like you stole some shit. They're going to look at you like you're trying to snatch a purse. I mean, it's like really the weirdest shit, but all us as black people already know what's going on. You just let that shit be. And I think somebody said recently, like, they are afraid of what they did back in the day. So that's why they see you. They just always be in this unmitigated fear that you walk out your crib, you ain't thinking. It's funny to be think this, but when you walk out your house in the morning, you're not thinking, I'm finna go scare the shit out of 15 white people right now. You're not thinking like that. You just walking out your crib. You're not even imagining somebody would even be scared of you, because that's not what your plight is. You might even have to run to the store or go visit a family member or fucking go for a walk or go to the gym. You're not thinking, let me go threaten these 14 people before I make it there. You know what I'm saying? The world isn't set up like that. Even if you was like that, it would be people in your life, whether it's your loved ones or people you wouldn't know, and it'd be like, I think something wrong with you. Every time I see you, you trying to fight, you trying to battle, and then I run into you so many times that you would start being like, maybe I do need to chill. Maybe I do need to take a break. I don't need to always be on that. You know what I'm saying? So those white people were just kind of crazy. And you know the police ain't locking them up, and you know that. You know they're not gonna go to jail. You know they're not gonna really face no time, no criminal behavior, nothing like that. So we don't have to get ourselves bent out of shape on that reality. But the fact still remains, man. They should have never did that to that brother. They should have never treated them like that. And it was dope to see the black people fought back. There's a whole bunch of videos out there about the comedy part of this thing, and that's the part I'm gonna do the presentation on. But I'm gonna probably do that later on when I come back because I like a lot of the comedy videos that's been coming out, and I think that we should just do like a little breakdown of it, just talk shit, you know what I'm saying? So, and like exactly what the fuck they was doing out there. It's a lot of comedy shit that people are doing. So I'm gonna jump into the wind, and I'm gonna catch y'all on the next broadcast. Thanks for watching.